This kind of bow can be made in a single day from a live tree, yet it performs just as well as a bow made from seasoned wood. To start off, I went into the mountains and cut a piece of Rocky Mountain maple. Best to start with a straight trunk with no branching that's at least 3 inches in diameter. Once that's collected, if there are any small branches, take those off. Next, we're going to debark and split it. That's quickly done by batoning a small axe through it, and this way you actually get 2 staves, and the grain is so straight on this maple that it's split really easily by hand. Now I'm using the axe to take off more material from the belly of the bow. Now to profile this bow, a machete is a really useful tool, and it's the main tool I use for all the shaping. This is a flat bow, so it has wide limbs that are rectangular in cross section. Now it's time to reduce thickness, and then we'll use a fire to bend the bow the other way. I taper the tips just slightly. That's easily done with a knife, and this fresh green wood carves really easily. By carving it all down close to its final shape quickly, it doesn't crack as it dries. On one end, I carve a pin knock for the loop of the bowstring to slip over, and it will be tied on the other end with this double knock. Now that it's closer to its final shape, I use the back of the machete as a scraping tool. This takes off very controlled amounts of wood in fine curls, getting rid of all the previous axe and machete marks. It's tricky to do this without a vise or clamp of some sort to hold the bow, so I always get creative with it and find something that works. Now it's time to get the fire going, because we're going to fire harden the belly of this bow, and this fire will drive out all the remaining moisture. I like to use a few strands of string and a stick to prop the bow into the shape that I want it to dry in. By doing this before I put the bow over the fire, the shape becomes permanent once it's dry. Now that the fire is burned down to coals, we lower the bow down a bit to get a little bit of toasting on the belly. This is called fire hardening, and it adds even more speed by increasing the compression strength that the belly fibers can take. Now we finalize the shape further, do more fine scraping on the belly, and checking the bend of the bow. This is called tillering. I will keep scraping and testing until both limbs are bending evenly and I like the draw weight. It's hard to get an absolutely perfect tiller when you're only working with as few tools as I am, but with a little practice you can still get it really good. The bow is almost ready to shoot. It just needs a coat of oil to help protect it. I usually use bear grease on my bows, but in this case I'm using the fat rendered from a rock chuck. Now I give it a handle grip so I'm holding it in the same place every time. For this I'm just using a strip of willow bark. That's my first time trying this, and I think it made a really good looking wrap. And with that, this bow is ready to shoot. So even though one day ago this was a green living tree, this bow is now totally dry, a fire hardened belly, and recurve set in. It pulls about 30 pounds, but it launches arrows. I like to shoot Comanche style, where I'm holding arrows in my bow hand, where I have this modified pinch on the string, and since this is a short bow, I snap shoot, pushing the bow away from me instead of pulling the string towards me, and releasing as soon as it's at its full draw, which is pretty short.